What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to episode 17 of our Minecraft AlltheMods10 playthrough. This episode isn't really going to be about one set thing or one set mod in particular. What I want to do is start filling out some of the smaller things in the AlltheMods star tree, because I notice there's a lot of things we could be crafting that we have the resources for and are very, very simple to do. So I'm going to go through and just start crafting up some of that stuff. It's definitely going to be a shorter episode, but that's because I'm getting ready to dive into the modern industrialization mod, because I know that one's going to take a while to progress through and it might end up being more than one episode. But I won't waste any more of your time. Let's get into it. So taking a look at the tree, one of the first things I want to actually get started on is making the different alloys that we're going to need. So that's going to be the unobtainium AlltheModium alloys and the unobtainium vibranium alloys, and we can also make vibranium and unobtainium alloys. Because one thing I definitely want to make is one of these ME Infinity lava cells, and in order to make that we need one of these mega storage components, a block of blazing crystal, some lava buckets, and then some of these alloy ingots. And making all this stuff is going to be really, really easy. And another thing I want to do right before we get started on making up those alloys is I actually want to get some of this dye agglomeratio, because I want to make some dye seeds so we can actually craft all of the different concrete powders that we're going to need for the Patrick star. So one way we can do that is just start taking some of these different flowers that we've collected and turning them into their dyes. And so it looks like we just need some lime dye and some cyan dye. And so we're going to need to collect up some green dye. And then once we collect a bunch of green dye, we can actually mix the blue dye with the green dye and make the cyan dye, and then we can also mix the green dye and the white dye to make the lime dye. But we don't have any green dye right now, so we're gonna go collect up some flowers and get some green dye. Oh, and I actually see that we can make green dye using some blue dye and some yellow dye, and we can make yellow dye just by making sulfur. So we are going to take some sulfur out of here, and we're gonna make some yellow dye. Then we can make some green dye, and then we'll take that green dye, mix it with the white, and make some lime dye. And then we'll mix the green dye with the blue dye and make some cyan dye. And now we can make some of these dye agglomeratios. Let's make, honestly, we'll take 8 of them and we'll make 2 seeds with that. And we just need some prudentium essence and a prosperity seed base. So we'll grab some prudentium and we just need 8. And then we'll grab up 2 prosperity seed bases and we'll bring them over to our infusion altar and throw those in to make some of those seeds. There we go, we got 1. Now we'll just make 1 more, and boom, that's already done. Now we can take these dye seeds and we can let some of that, we'll collect up some dye essence while we are working on some of our other stuff. So we'll go ahead and just place these right here. And then as we can see, those are growing now. And we'll go ahead and collect our rewards for that. Looks like we got some prudentium coal. And now we'll come back to our enchanting apparatus that we made with Ars like a while ago. And we've actually built up a ton of source. We have 7.3 million source built up right now in our ME system, and we'll get started on making some of these alloys. So the unobtainium and vibranium alloy ingots are actually going to be pretty easy to make, because we just have to use 2 piglet hearts, 4 pink slime, a vibranium ingot, and an unobtainium ingot, and then put some soul lava in the middle. And we actually have all of that already. We have 88 buckets of soul lava in this fluid tank. And so what I'm gonna do with this is I'm actually going to just hook it up. I actually don't want to put it down here. I think we're just gonna connect it over here. I think we have enough channels. But what I'll do is turn the bucket mode off, place this down, and then take a storage bus and just slap that right here. And now we should see we have 88 buckets of soul lava. So now it's going to be pretty easy. So we just have to take this recipe and encode the pattern. Ooh, but we're actually going to need some pink slime balls first. So let's encode this pattern first for the pink slime. Then we will encode the pattern for the unobtainium vibranium alloys. And I think what we're also going to do is just have a separate setup for our imbuement chamber, because this one's the enchanting apparatus, but we're also going to need some stuff with the imbuement chamber. And there is a way to automate this process, but I don't think we're going to do that. And I think we're just going to go ahead and do that now because we're going to need a lot of these elemental essences. And it seems like it's pretty simple to do. So for this, we're going to need 4 imbuement chambers. We already have 1. So let's just craft up 3 more. And then each of these are going to need 3 arcane platforms. So let's craft up some more arcane pedestals. So we need 8 of those, and then we'll turn them all into the platforms. And then we're going to set them up like this, that, like that. And we're actually going to have to space these out. Like, we're gonna have to space these out just a little bit more, and that's because we're gonna run some import-export buses into these, and we'll slap some import-export buses on the front of these just like this. And we're going to place a source jar. We'll place it right here, and then we just have to run some cable to all of these. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So all these should be online, and they are. And we'll throw some acceleration cards in here, and then we also need to filter in our source gems to be exporting the source gems. And then we're actually going to need to set this up just a little bit differently because we're going to need another channel. So now, yep, that's only using 8 channels. So now we should just be able to put an export bus on here, and we have to actually configure these ones. I don't know why, but they weren't configured to export source into them. So we just have to configure these ones, and then we have to configure this one as well. And then this should start filling up. Yep, there we go. Now it's full, and we can go ahead and place that one back down. And then what we have to do is just put the resources that we need on this arcane platform. And it looks like we're actually missing one of our imbuement chambers. So we're just going to set up one more right here, and we'll hook this up to our system as well. And now let's just gather up all of the materials that we're going to need. So we need a water bucket, a kelp, and a snow block for the water. And there we go. And now we see it's crafting water essence because it pushed the source gem in. And I actually wonder if we can, oh, we can tick accelerate these too. That is awesome. So we got the water essence. Now we just need the air essence. So we need a feather, an arrow, and a wilted wing. And we've got plenty of those. So we'll just drop these in. And then that one's starting. Then we need fire. So we need a flint and steel, gunpowder, and torch. So we'll go ahead and place these in next. And then the last one that we're going to need is the earth essence. And we just need an iron ingot, some dirt, and a seed. And now that one should push in some as well. Yep, there we go. So now all of these are being crafted automatically, and if we want, we can just speed all of these up, and it can get us some essence a little bit faster. Now that that's done, we just have to set up some automation for this area. And I think we're going to redo this setup that we have going just a little bit. So I think we're going to set it up like this. It's a little bit ugly, and we might be able to change up the design a little bit later, but for now, this is how we're going to do this. And you could also do this with modular routers. I just didn't want to set all of that up because it was going to be a little annoying to do. And we actually need to move this. There's going to be this right here, that right there. And this one needs to go like that. And then I believe that will be, and we'll just throw in some acceleration cards on all these. I don't think this will actually be necessary to do, but we're going to do it anyways. And then we just have to set up where all of our patterns are going to go. So the corners are going to be the elemental essences. So this one will be air, then we'll do water in this one, earth in this one, and fire in this one. Then I believe we're actually going to want to do the block forms of these. So let's actually go make some blocks, because I think the blocks are going to be the best way to do this, and we can do it pretty easily. We can just make patterns for all of them. And we actually got to go throw this into this pattern provider, throw those in there. So we got the fire essence block. We'll grab the water, grab the air, grab the earth, and we're going to need a couple more patterns. So we'll just go ahead and make those now. We're going to need piglich hearts. We're going to need pink slime blocks. We're going to need unobtainium blocks and AlltheMods10 blocks and source blocks. And we can actually put a pattern in. I wonder if we can actually put it right here, and maybe we can connect that like this. Maybe that will work. I'm actually not 100% sure. And one thing I also didn't notice was I believe we're going to need to hook up some export buses to these, and I believe we should be able to just place this right underneath, and it should work. However, it will remains to be seen whether or not that actually works. And we'll just cover that back up and leave that there for now and finish making up the rest of these patterns. So we got the source gem blocks. We actually should make another imbuement chamber and have a good amount of source going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we should be able to do that. And we'll just slap that one down right here. And we'll throw an arcane platform on that. And we'll just have this being fed lapis. And now that will be making us some source gems. So now that should be all of the patterns for the block that we need for the unobtainium AlltheMods10 alloy. So now just to make sure, we can throw these all in our pattern access terminal. And I think something else we're going to need to do is make patterns for all of these to make the ingots. And I'm not sure why we're not getting a lot of AlltheMods10. Let's actually take a look. So we got AlltheMods10 cone blocks. Maybe we've just converted a bunch of the ingots already? Maybe that's what it was. Yeah, I think we've just converted a lot of them to the ingots. But I'm gonna go check on my bees real quick and just make sure that's actually being fed into there. Okay, so it's definitely being fed through. I think we had already been making a bunch of the ingots for something else. But now that we have these patterns, we can go ahead and throw these in our access terminal. And we're also going to need, oh, we actually don't need the vibranium block for this one, but we will need it for this one. So vibranium block. We got the pink slime block, and now it's just going to be these blocks. So we'll need a block of nitro crystal times 2. And I believe we already have, yeah, so we already have a pattern for nitro crystal. So we just need patterns for the blocks. So I'll make one for the regular one, the 1 times, and then the 2 times. And we'll throw these here in here as well. And then we're also going to need a pattern. We do need one for the vibranium block, but we are going to need one, and we're actually going to, I think, change how this is set up. And I think we're going to actually put this in its own little area, maybe right here, because what we're going to need, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to put this here. We are going to take our cable, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to fill up this area with cables, so we can put nitro crystal on them. And then underneath this, let's craft some upgrades. So we're gonna hook up our wireless connector right there, and we can take pattern provider, set it there, hook it up, put these upgrades on it, put these patterns back in, and then I think that should be fine. And then the other thing I want to do is actually run some power, and then we'll cover this back up. Then we're just going to craft up a bunch more of these nitro energizing rods and then place them all on here. And just for some ease of access, we're just going to put this pattern provider on top here, just so we always have access to it. And then we just need to make, we'll start with start with like a 4x4 radius. So we'll make 14 of these. And I don't believe we actually have patterns for these, so we need to make some more patterns. Then we just need to toss these all in here. 14. Well, actually, we only need 13 of these. Okay, so we did that. And then if we put these in here and then craft 14. Okay, that worked. Let's make 3. Now it's saying we're missing. What? Very, very weird. Now that we have these, can we craft 14? Alright, now that that's done, go ahead and place these down. So now we just need some patterns for this. So we got that one. I believe we need to put that one in, and then we have all the patterns for this. So now we should be able to throw this in there and craft that. And then the last one we have to put in is this one for the dissolution chamber, and we'll take out the ingot craft, so we won't need that. And what we could do is craft up some more of these soul surges and the soul pipe and surge that even faster. And now we just have to, I think we just have to set this up. So let's see if we want to craft one of these, start it, see what it does. And it looks like that's not actually going in there. Let's see if it's caught up on something. No, I think that's not going to work, because I don't want to just make a bunch of them And actually, while we're doing this, so what we can do instead is maybe there's a way we can do that later on, but for now we're just going to kind of just do it manually. So we don't need, that's all done. This one's all done. It's just this one. So we need boom, 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 and a source block in the middle. We need the piglet heart blocks here. We need each essence in a corner. Got the source gem in the middle. We just need AlltheMods10 block and an obtainium block. And this says that there wasn't enough source nearby to complete the craft, so something tells me we should be able to do this if we have enough source nearby. So maybe what we can do is build a bigger source jar. Maybe we can use this one. All right, so we got our source jar. Now I just want to see. Okay, there we go. So once that starts to fill up, then it will start auto crafting it for us and it will pull it out automatically. And now we can see we have an unobtainium AlltheMods10 alloy block. Now what I want to do is make like 5 of those. See if we can say we want like 4 of these. We're just missing, well, you know what? We're gonna give each of these their own source jar because I don't think it needs these ones. All right, now I think our essence is being made properly. I just had to manually configure all of our buses because the import export bus was kind of acting up. So I just put an individual import and export bus on all of these imbuement chambers. So now it knows that it's going to be importing source gems and outputting whatever essence is in the import bus filter. I actually forgot one export bus. I had an extra one. Forgot to put another one on here. And now we could just leave these. And it looks like we got 2 of our blocks here. I just don't know what oh, maybe we're out of pink slime. No, we got plenty of pink slime. I wonder what this is stuck on. Let's cancel that craft and craft 1. Maybe that was why it wasn't working, because there was leftover pink slime in there. I think this is still no, this is done. Why didn't it pull it out? Well, we got that block. Let's craft 2 more. What we actually might need to do with this is we might need to run a cable. I think I actually want to take the pattern for the nitro crystal out of there, and we can honestly just craft them like that. All right, and we're just missing, no, we shouldn't be missing any of these. So we want 1 more of those. We're crafting 1 more of these, and I want 2 of those. Oh, so the pattern provider does work. And now that we got 1 of each of these blocks, we can take our alloys and we should actually be able to craft. So let's actually not do that. Let's do this. And now we should be able to craft our ME Infinity Lava Cell. And it looks like we're just missing some Certus quartz dust. Now I believe, yep, we'll be crafting, the last thing we need is this mega storage component, which we're just going to be waiting on these. So we're just going to go ahead and speed this up, and we're just going to be waiting on, well, we can't actually accelerate those, but we're just going to be waiting on the circuit slicer and crystal assembler. Looks like the reaction chamber is already done, so we're just going to be waiting on those, and then once those are done we can come back and finish up. So the next thing I want to do is get all of our items that we need for the Patrick star. So we'll need 5 pink concrete. I believe we can actually just do this. So we'll need 5 pink concrete. So we're first going to need the pink concrete powder, but we need to make some patterns. So we want a pink dye pattern. We'll need a magenta dye pattern, a green dye pattern, and a lime dye pattern. And we're going to want a gravel pattern, the pink concrete powder pattern, this pattern, the magenta concrete pattern, the green concrete pattern, and then the lime to finish it off. Now that we have all of those, we should be able, so we need 5 pink concrete powder. So we need 5 of that. Then we need 11 pink concrete, 11 of that. Now we need green, we need 8 green concrete, we need 8 and 8, and we need the magenta and then the lime. So 8 magenta, and then we need 11 of the concrete. Oh no, we need 13 of the concrete. Then we need 2 of the lime. And then I believe that's everything we need for the Patrick Star. I think we just need to build the runic star altar. Oh, and we actually have the Maledictus Pact. So we have almost everything for this. Just need to take that one out. We almost have everything for that. There's just a couple things that we're missing. So I'll go ahead and make our quantum injector that we're gonna need. And we're only gonna need one. And then we're gonna need this slice and spice. We need some solarium ingots, which I'm pretty sure we have a bunch of. We just need this. We just need some quartz dust. All right, now that we got that, we need some of these. Then we can build our insoled chassis. And then we just need energized bimetal gears. What in the world? Let's make a pattern for this. And then we just need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need 5 of these. 5. And then once we have 5, we can make our nuggets. And then we need 2 of these gears. And it looks like our mega is done. Yep, our 256 million mega storage component is done. So now we can craft an infinity lava cell. So now we have access to infinite lava, which will be super, super nice. And now we actually don't need to have that tank there or that storage bus, because now we just have lava and it says 2.1 G and it will just be infinite. And we should be able to craft one more of these gears now. And now we can craft our slice and spice. Just set that right there for now. And it needs one of these bad boys. I'll throw this in there. And since this needs power, let's throw it there. And then for this, we just need an axe, some shears. Oh, so this should actually be really easy to do. All right, so we got some blank skulls. Now we just need 2 zombie heads. We need 2 solarium ingots. So we need 4 actually. Then we need 2 silicone, a redstone, 2 redstone, and then an axe and shears. And then shears. Oh, I made a pickaxe. So now we should, now that's going. We got a Z logic controller, and then we just do that one more time. And we got 2 of them. And now the very last thing that we need is just this loot bag from the lunar monstrosity from Eternal Starlight, and then we can build the runic star altar. So I think we'll save that for another episode, because I want to do an episode on the Eternal Starlight. So maybe that will be the next one. So we can build this star altar and then do that. But now there's just a couple more things I want to do. I want to craft up these rainbow furnaces. So we need rainbow plating, which is going to require us 1 of each furnace. And then the rainbow core, which is going to need netherite furnaces, and then some glass, a bunch of different stains on it. So let's get all of the patterns for all this stuff, and we'll be able to craft them up pretty quickly. We need yellow, green, which we already have, blue, we got purple, and we got magenta. So now we just need the stained glass recipe for all those. We got red, we'll get orange, we'll get yellow, we'll get green, blue. Let's go back to the orange one and just get that. Got green, we got blue, now we just need purple and magenta. Now we just need to make patterns for these. Now we just gotta place all these in. Now we should be able to craft 3 of these, and they crafted instantly. And then what I want to do is actually take one of them, set it down, take some TNT, some flint and steel, then blow it up. Or not. Maybe let's take it further away. Set it here. And take some TNT and blow it up. I hope I didn't make it despawn like that. And I think we did, because I saw it for a second. Now I have to do it all over again. Alright, now you can see we got rainbow coal. And we're probably going to end up using some of this during our modern industrialization section, because it's basically like an infinite piece of coal. You can just use it like for a whole bunch of different things. but you also need it for this philosopher's fuel craft. So for now, we're just gonna hold on to that piece, but we'll end up crafting more later. Then I want to craft up an ender generator. For this, we're gonna need patterns for all of these as well. And once we have those, just type in generator, craft one. It's already done. And then that one's done. Now we just need the 64x magmatic generator. To get this one, I believe it's gonna be it's gonna have a little bit more to it. So get that. Oh, actually no, it's not gonna be too much more difficult. And now let's just craft one of these, and that one's already done as well. And that magmatic generator, we're also gonna need for the philosopher's fuel. Oh, and we also got a dark tank full of eclipse ember fuel. Did we? Oh, no, we just got a dark tank. I wonder why that popped up for us. All right, and I think that's pretty much all of like the miscellaneous stuff. No, so I think the last thing we'll do is build this glyph of wither at the scribe using the scribes table, and then we need to make this abjuration essence, so we'll do that real quick as well, and then I think that will be the last thing we do for this video. So we need an imbuement chamber, we need a fermented spider eye, a milk bucket, and sugar. And then for this we can just make some arcane pedestals, throw these on there. Now we just need a scribes table, put this maybe not like that, maybe like that, and then we just need some wither. I'm not sure how to use the scribes table, but let's see how we can do that real quick. So we're gonna want to get an archmage's spellbook. So let us craft this up. So I think we have a novice spellbook. We just need a mage's spellbook. Now we can cast tier 2 glyphs or lower, and then we need an archmage's spellbook. And we need to defeat a Wilden Chimera. So let's take our spellbook. So we just need to get the tablet of Summon Wilden. And then we need to take Ritual Brazier and set that down. Put the tablet on top. And then we need a Wilden Wing, Spike, and Horn. Those guys out of here. I believe we just go like boom, boom, and boom, and then we just need to activate it. Okay, there we go. So now he should be spawning. Now we gotta fight this man. He's got 1,000 health, which honestly isn't too bad because we do quite a bit of damage. So let's just finish this guy. Oh, he's flying now. Oh, he's flying now. He's like evolving. What? Oh, and he killed me. Let's grab our stuff. I was not expecting to die there. Let me not do that. Let me not die again. And we got him. And get rid of his friends. We'll remove our marker and pick up all of this stuff that the dude blew up. And we got the Wilden tribute. So now we can upgrade our book. Alright, I'm actually gonna sleep as well. And we got another trophy. So we're gonna put him right here. There he is. Look at him. All glorious. And now we can craft up our tier 3 spellbook. We just need a totem of undying, which we actually have a bunch of. And we'll craft that up. Now we need to interact with our table, and we need the glyph of wither. It says you have not unlocked this glyph. Alright, so I think all we actually need to do is if we type wither, click this, and then just press select. And I think it wants me to throw these on. Now we should have it. So there we go. Now we got a glyph of wither, which is pretty easy to get. If we look here now, we have almost everything to craft the wither compass. I think the only thing we really need now is we need one of these nether star generators, and then we just need the wither skull scroll legendary, and then we'll have everything we need for that. So the nether star generator looks like it's very similar to the other generator that we crafted. So it looks like what we need to do is actually don't think I want to do that. So we need to make 8x's. So we need 8 times 8, so we need 64. So 1 stack of regular nether star generators. So we'll need a stack of netherite generators. So we'll need a stack of diamond generators. And then since we have these, we'll just need some templates and some netherite. And then now that that's done, should be able to craft all of these. There we go. Now that's done. So the last thing we need, we need an arrow wither, which we could make this. We could make that arrow super easily. It's just the skull we have to do. But I think that is where we're gonna call it.